Yo, this episode is called Masculine Love.
Do men know how to love?
And is it different from women?
Let's find out.
Hey.
This is the Hear Him Out Show, a show we created for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
Yo, what's good, beautiful people? This is your boy Monty, aka Mr. Motivation.
And I am Shakim Blessings.
And this is the Hear Him Out Show, a place for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the opportunity to lead to growth and elevation.
Hey, yo, we got a good one for y'all today. We're going to talk a little bit about love, but not just love. We're going to talk about masculine love. And why is that so specific to us? I think a lot of people, Shakim, especially when we're dealing with significant others and a particularly heterosexual relationships, right? You know, we got a lot, everybody get their thing. We talking in the old, traditional way. I think a lot of men think women should love the way we love, and a lot of women think we should love the way they love. And so when we talk about love languages, you can break all that shit down, but it's like communication isn't key. Comprehension is key. And I think that's where a lot of signals get kind of crossed. It's like, well, you need to express your feelings. You need to hold space to be heard and felt and all this stuff. And I know for a lot of men, it's like, we want to get to the solution. If we're not feeling love, or if we're feeling like our feelings ain't validated, we want to get from point A to point C without having to stop and, unpack B. So I think that's why there's a slight difference when it comes to masculine love. What's your thoughts on that, G?
Well, I love the idea of women needing to express their love. I love the idea of women needing to be the water in a relationship while men are the mountain in a relationship.
Ooh.
And let me break that down. That sounds super random.
Hear him out.
But the water is the pure potentiality that is constantly waving and imploding and combusting upon itself, because in it has all the potentiality for life, for creating life, for bringing forth life. And the mountain holds space, and from the water it grows vegetation and it brings forth lineages. And so we need to be able to be still and calm in the storm, and the women should be able to express at any given time. And so when the woman is expressing herself, I think one of the strongest things that a man can do is simply hold space. And the truth is, a lot of times, I know women hate the fact that we don't talk about our feelings that much and do these things that much. But the truth is our output of our emotions verbally is not as required. It's not as necessary. Really, to understand my emotions, I need to internalize a lot of times. I need to look in the mirror. I need to move and get the energy out of the way so that I can see it clearly. So I don't always need to talk to you. And once in a blue moon, I do. And I just had a beautiful experience like that recently.
Dope.
Beautiful experience. I never released like that with a woman in my life. And now I'm probably good for a long time. That's like a really long time. It was a beautiful release, because that's how men are. Our output is different when it comes to understanding us. I guess the curriculum is just a little different, and I think it's fun when we can just respect that about each other.
And you know what? I love that, because one of our episodes we talk about the weight of expectation, the weight that men carry that society and the world at large don't understand. And we're built different in a different way. Women are completely built different. I mean, for God's sake, they create life. They carry it for 9 months, right? So when my man Shakim is talking about that, what that made me think about is like, yeah, we need the whole space. Like, we need to express that love. We need to express our feelings as men, but it's not as often because we can hold a lot. We're built different. Not every little thing, even in my marriage, it's like so many little things bother my lady. So many little things, ruffle her feathers. But because of the way a lot of us men think, we think big picture. So the whole idea is like, if this is not messing with the bottom line, if this is not going to obstruct our ultimate vision, it's irrelevant to me.
Yes.
But that's for me, because I think a lot of men, and y'all tap in, leave in the comment section if y'all agree with this. If you were to break down most men's definition of love without being too poetic or too philosophical, love is action. If we just want to break it down, love is action. We go through action. So it's like the idea of needing to express ourselves, it is there. Y'all do need the whole space for us from time to time. Yes. But it's just not as needed as often, because it's about the action. Yes. If I'm showing up for you, if I'm being loyal in front of you and behind you, that's action. If I'm showing up for the kids, that's action. If I'm making sure these bills are being paid, that's action. If all these things are being taken care of, that is love. And I'm showing and expressing that to you.
Yes. So a cherry on top of that is how much goes into that action. Shay. So I just want our people to consider something for 1 second. I got a good friend named Justin who I just spoke to, a king, godly man, who was telling me how he surprised himself by being so satiated and entertained by just going to the park and walking around the field barefoot with his hands behind his back with no music and just contemplating. Because in that contemplation, what a man is doing is trying to form how well he is going to take that action. So if we were talking about boys, then the masculine love would be to just act without thought, act without contemplation, act without any type of configuration of absolute truth.
That's the man child. That's the man child.
But for our good men, for our men out there who are constantly putting themselves through the fire and consecrating their belief systems and convictions, there's a lot that goes into that action. There's a lot of thought, a lot of preparation.
Yo.
So I don't know a lot of women who require themselves to think that much, to contemplate that much. But when you think of giants like Carl Jung and Einstein and Nietzsche, who said that they spent percentages of their day literally just thinking, running their brains into the ground, it's because in the masculine essence there is this inextricable concept of action, acquisition, conquering, moving forward, discerning. And so in order to do that efficiently, we have to contemplate. We have to get all these convictions in order so that we can lead these households properly, because we're bringing forth lineages, and hopefully we're not bringing forth shitty lineages.
Yo, and you know, it's so funny because it's funny when you have these conversations, because it kind of opens a window to like why you do the things you do. And if y'all know me, you know, my brothers know me, I'm big on journaling. I believe journaling is the cheapest form of therapy. My journal, my meditation, my prayer, my affirmations, to a lot of people it seems trivial, it seems stupid, it seems unnecessary. But what you are talking about, organizing my thoughts, it is something about, yo, these bills got to get paid. Okay, cool. I got to get this gig. I got to get these clients because I work for myself. And as an actor, you're almost always a freelancer. So it's just like, okay, how can I do this? I got twins now. Okay, it's their first birthday coming up. We trying to do a trip. So these are all the things that are going through a man's mind. Now, for a lot of women, y'all need to express that out loud, right? Like, I need to sit with my lady. She has to get all this out. And at some point, I'm just thinking like, okay, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this. Okay, but now what? So for us, it's, let me go pray, meditate. Let me walk in the park. Let me journal. Let me get all of this out of my head. Once I clear the clutter, now I can see with clarity and I can move forward. Now on that quick transition is something I think is important. For a lot of dudes, I know society will have you think that men are afraid of love. And I hate that. That's such a misconception. Men are not afraid of love. The masculine way of loving is just through action and deeds. It's not so much through words and feelings and emotions. Not saying that we disregard all our feelings and emotions. What we're saying is we separate how we feel from what the hell needs to be done. Because all our feelings are validated. You know, I'm sure you have to do this when you're dealing with your female partner. It's like, I got to validate your feelings. I got to make space for you to have these feelings. We don't always need the damn space because we know we're just feeling. I know I'm mad right now because I'm tired as hell, or I ain't got the answers, and I know this shit is going to go. So let me switch my mindset and go somewhere else. And it puts men in a state of vulnerability. And I got this quote I want to share, right? I think this is absolutely a beautiful quote. So check this out, y'all. And this comes from somebody I follow on Instagram. It's called the EQ School. So it's a dope page about emotional intelligence. It's really dope. Emotional discomfort is part of the price of admission to deeper levels of connection and intimacy. Now, taking accountability as men, it is very uncomfortable to be emotional, to be vulnerable, because we're not used to it. We've been conditioned. I'm learning not to do that with my son. So those who don't know, I got fraternal twins. I got a girl, I got a boy. And I've had to recondition myself, because when my little girl cries, I'm like, oh, baby, what's wrong? When my boy cries, what you crying for? I'm already right there. I have to recondition myself to not look at my son and be like, you need a reason to cry. And my daughter, it's automatic. Whatever that reason is, it's irrelevant. Come here, baby. Because we've been conditioned for that. And a lot of that starts at childbirth and it goes into adulthood. And then once we become men, it's like, I don't need all of that. And so a lot of women misconstrue that as, oh, you don't need love, but it's different. But fellas, once again, emotional discomfort is part of the price of admission for deeper levels of connection and intimacy. We want connection. We want intimacy. But we have to learn how to get uncomfortable expressing and sharing our love. The thing we do, my brothers, my man Stu behind the camera, my man Shakim, I have no problem telling my dudes, yo, I love you, bro. Even my biological brother, at first, he was just like, huh? I'm like, I love you. When we get off the phone, he's like, yeah, okay. Okay, stop being gay. I'm like, yo, chill. Like, but now since I do it all the time and they're used to hearing it from me, we don't get off the phone without saying I love you. I say that to my people, and a lot of you see women all the time. I love you, girl. I love you. Like it's just a natural thing for women, but for dudes, for some reason, even though we know it. Even though it's like, I got nothing but love for you, we have a hard time saying that and expressing that. And it's because that aspect of the masculine love is more about action rather than words of confirmation. But I'm here to tell you, brothers, we need those words of confirmation.
Yes, and I have maybe a slight solution to that.
Oh, let's go.
By a reformatting of the perspective of action. Being still doesn't necessarily mean that you're not in action. Being still requires a lot of action.
Hear him out.
So I know our kings are so goal-oriented that it's hard to hold stillness. But maybe if you consider that stillness one of the most difficult forms of action and one of the most benefiting goals you can ever do is to be still and hold that space, that is an action that can bring a lot of amazing accomplishing of goals in a relationship. Is if you are just holding space, staring in her eyes, which I know is very difficult. Practice staring in eyes. Hey, man, that's difficult.
Yo,
one
facts.
of the hardest things I've ever had to do in artist development. We did artist development at Marvelous Marvin in Atlanta way back in the day, right?
Okay.
6 months of grueling artist development, 8 to 10 hour rehearsals with barely any food, dancing, singing, blah, blah, right? One of the most difficult things I ever had to do was he made us sing in the mirror and not break eye contact with ourselves. And you realize how difficult it is to just hold eye contact. And so that's a great action. Sometimes when they need to express themselves, we think there's something we're supposed to be doing to fix it. But the fixing can be shutting up, holding space, looking her in the eyes, and maybe just holding her hand. And there you go. There's your problem fixed. Easier than you think. And it's uncomfortable the first 20 seconds of just looking in somebody's eyes. Try it for 60 seconds. It's difficult. Try it with your mom. Try it with your dad.
The stillness.
Try it with your brother. Yeah.
The stillness. And as an actor, what I've had to learn how to do, all my favorite actors, if you look at them, there's a stillness. Yeah. There's a simplicity. Now, I'm a big fan of, so this is a show. Shout out to The Bear. Okay, The Bear is dope. And it's this episode with Olivia Colman. She was in the show The Crown, amazing British actress. And she's like peeling potatoes or something. And there's this like 8-minute scene. There's no break. They're having this conversation, and all she is doing is having this conversation, smiling and talking. It's the most simplistic thing. And as an actor, most of us, I'm thinking, how can I do this potato? No, you're just doing. You're just being. And I think what you're talking about, that stillness, that connection, sometimes we try to do too much, and we think more is needed, and sometimes being still in that moment is important. And I think as the aspect of the masculine love, there is this hard to be still because it's action.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways, now fellas, hear me out here. I think this is beautiful. One of the best ways you can show those you love, whether that's your partner, whether that's your kids, whether that's your brother, whether that's your family, right? Is present. Being present and in the moment. Not thinking about all the shit that we go through as men, we have to think about in the next move. Forget the next move. The next move is happening in this moment. Yes. And one of the best things you can do is get off your damn phone. Like my man said, keep eye contact. That is one of the most important aspects of masculine love. And I'm learning that right now as a new father. Right? I'm learning. I get up hella early in the morning, okay? I get up hella early in the morning. And quick side note. Okay. Real quick. We talking about masculine love. Can I just go off just real quick? Can I get like a 20 seconds? Just, man. I love all my brothers and my kings, and I say this with love, and I say this with healing. Do not be a bitch ass nigga if you are not in your kids' lives. If you bring forth life, if you create life and your ass is not around to support that life, you wonder why you're struggling, you wonder why you're broken, you wonder why you feel selfish, you wonder why your life is missing. There is nothing more masculine. Let me tell you, there's nothing more masculine, and the essence of that love is taking care of that life that you help create. And sorry, I had to go off. We're gonna have a whole episode for that. But as we're saying, sorry, I hate to see it, man. Right? So, now when I'm with my kids, I gotta wake up early in the morning, right? And they're playing. I'm tired, y'all. I'm going off for a couple hours of sleep, and I'm just letting them play. They playing with each other, and I'm on my phone, and I'm normally on my phone. You know, I'm just trying to stay awake, right? I've had to learn to do this when I see my little girl crawl up and get up on my legs. She's looking at me. the expression of love, when we talk about masculine love, when you talk about holding the eye contact, when you talk about being present, that is that love in motion. I'm looking at my little girl, I'm like, you want my attention. You're not going to be 1 year old that long. You're going to be a teenager one day and be like, Dad, leave me the hell alone. Yeah. Like, I know that's going to come eventually. So like when you coming up to me, I need to give you my full attention, not be on my phone. And that holds true. I don't care what age your kids is. That holds true for your partner. What me and my lady were trying to do, you know, at the end of the night, it's been a long night. We on our phones and stuff. I'm trying to be like, yo, let's get off the phone. Let's not start our day with the phone. Let's not end our day with the phone. Because even though we're physically in that space, where's that connection?
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Uncomfortable emotions is the price you pay for deeper connection and intimacy.
Man, yes.
And that's part of it. So when you look at your significant other, when you look at your kids, that's the shit we talking about.
Yes.
Present. Get off your phones. Yo, fellas, kings, it is hard.
It's really hard.
It's a lot of shit going on. My mind is constantly oscillating between being present and preparing for the future.
Because there's a lot of problems to fix.
At all times.
Well, just to go along with that, man, I have a statement and I have a theory.
Let's go.
A statement is, I was teaching kids one day, because I teach a Muay Thai meditation program at school, and they are very young. So the first semester was between 4 to 7.
Oh,
and
okay.
So I had a little best friend, and I was training him for 10 weeks. And on the last day, I went up there and I said, you know, you guys gotta work hard today, and I have these prizes for you today because today's my last day.
Okay.
And my little best friend looked at me and he started welling up with tears and he said, "What?" And he looked at me and that eye contact was there. The bridge was there.
Okay.
And he's looking into me and at me and he says, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, it's my last day, Anthony, you know, but you know, I've taught you everything that I'm supposed to teach you. Do you remember to keep your hands up?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you remember to put your hands together and face the sun when you're feeling bad and let it He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, then there's no reason to be sad because I've come into your life and I've done what I have to do, and now it's time for me to leave." And the look he was giving me was, do we cry when people leave? Because he was waiting to cry the whole time. It was welling up and he was looking at me. He was waiting to cry. And the question he was asking me with his eyes, because they're looking to us, the divine masculine, the mountain, they're looking to us with they're looking to us for, how am I supposed to see life? They're children. How am I supposed to understand life? And when I broke that down, he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're right." And he just went and started playing with his sister. So my theory is, maybe love, the definition, and maybe I am so bold as to try to define what love is. Right. But fuck it. Maybe love is the bridge of God between two people. And maybe that bridge is the eye contact, because the visual cortex in your brain takes up the majority of the energy in your brain. Look up the amount of energy it takes to perceive from your brain. That's why paying attention is a literal form of currency.
Oh,
it's a literal form of currency. And by being able to maintain contact, you are exercising a higher level of consciousness with whoever you're holding that bridge with. So maybe that bridge is love right there.
Love that. Love
and maybe
that.
you are sniping off that love every time you are breaking eye contact, not being willing to be that emotionally available to exchange that energy right there between that bridge. So just to consider for our kings, that being able to hold that space for yourself, practice in the mirror first, means that you are going to be able to fortify a form of love that you can share with all forms of living things, you know? That's
love that. Yo, so before we get into the segment of the day, I just want a quick little reminder for folks, right? Think about this, and this is for the fellas, okay? Oftentimes it is perceived like we don't know how to love, or we're uncomfortable with expressing and accepting love. It's often because of our broken history. I know for me, I never knew my dad. I didn't have I didn't know my biological dad. I was in foster homes and group homes. My mother, I guess she loved me, but she was addicted to drugs, so she abandoned me. So I never felt that love, right? And then I was abused in foster homes. So, and the closest thing I got was my foster dad by the time I got in high school. So I got to experience what's a man like for 4 years, right? But he was an old school dude. He didn't really say it. He just showed it. Every now and again, he'll hit you with, "Good job. I'm proud of you." He never did no, just old school dude. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show you what a man is like. So a lot of us have never heard "I love you" from a masculine source. It's always from the feminine. It's from the woman. It's from the mom and all that stuff, right? And because of that, it has made us uncomfortable oftentimes expressing that in the proper way. That's why you see so many cats, and in no way, shape, or form, don't twist my damn words up, in no way, shape, or form am I making excuses with all the domestic violence and shit. But that's why so many dudes, they look at love. It's such a damn powerful emotion that when we get it, dudes lose their damn mind. That's why you see dudes in relationships and it's abusive and they're controlling, because it's like, I'm not going to lose this feeling, so I'm going to do everything I shouldn't be doing. The jealousy, the controlling, the abuse, right? And that's why it's unfortunate that when we get our hearts broken, when women get their heart broken, they go through their thing, they heal, they keep it moving. People die when we do it, because it's such a damn intense emotion. And whether it's society, family, or taking ownership ourselves, we've deprived ourselves of the true meaning of that shit and really expressing that. So when we get a taste of it, we're addicted. We don't want to let it go. So that leads us to abusing, that leads us to controlling, that leads us to worst case scenario, killing. So it's very important that you learn to cultivate a healthy love. And like my man Shakim said, look in the damn mirror, connect with yourself, find people who can kind of vibe with that same thing. I got a lot of brothers and a lot of good men around me. I love you, bro, like it's nothing, okay? And that leads us into the segment of the day. Self-love, okay? Healing delayed is pain multiplied. Hear me out here, y'all. Healing delayed is pain multiplied. When we talk about this love, when we talk about this masculine love, we can only get there, and we can only achieve that, and we can only express that in a healthy manner when we learn how to love our damn selves. But it's hard to love yourself if you haven't gone through your healing process. Fellas, I don't care if it's therapy. I don't care if it's counseling. I don't care if it's joining a men's group. I don't care if it's prayer, meditation. I don't care if it's the church. I don't care if it's God. I don't care if you want to be a damn Buddhist monk. We've gone through some shit. We've experienced some horrific stuff, whether that happened in childhood, teenagehood, man's divorce, whatever it is. It never goes away. You cannot drink it away. You cannot sex it away. You cannot hit the weights as much as you want unless you acknowledge and deal with the fact you've gone through some traumatic shit. You need to process that. This is when we do need to take a page out of our female counterparts book. We need to talk this shit. We need to express it. We need to release it. We need to unpack it and see what it means. Like, we have to start doing that. Healing delayed is pain multiplied. The longer you do that, the more and more that builds up. The more you transfer that toxic form of love that we have to our kids, to our children, to our loved ones. So healing delayed is pain multiplied. Start your damn healing journey. I don't give a damn if you got to go to counseling. I don't care if you got to convert to Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, whatever it does to help you heal. Because in order to have and express that masculine love and its true divine essence, you got to heal from that shit. You got to start fresh. Anything else to say? Are we? Is that Gucci? You got anything else you want to add to it, my brother?
Just to cap off that marvelous statement, voluntary exposure to that which requires healing will make you braver, because the world doesn't get less dangerous. You just get more brave. So, Ashe.
Shay. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But here at the Hear Him Out Show, we like to do things a little differently, right? We like to clear the space. We like to do it physically, and we like to do that emotionally, right? So we unpacked a lot of heavy shit. We want to keep the space pure. So, Shakim, how we going to clear the space today, G?
Oh, I brought the most divine masculine instrument of all, the bison drum. Ashe. Let's get rooted.
Hey. Yo, that's it. That's all we got for y'all for this show. And we just thank y'all for vibing with us. And ladies, we hope y'all were able to listen and understand that the expression of the masculine love is different from y'all. And fellas, I hope that just us having this conversation, we've allowed you to be a little more braver, a little more open with expressing that. And even if you're not comfortable expressing that to your female counterpart or your partner, start with your brothers. Start kind of cultivating that, you know, that vibe amongst your group, because it becomes easier when you have kids. It becomes easier when you do fall in love, get married, all that good stuff, because the masculine love is a necessary ingredient to making this world not so damn crazy. And with that being said, this has been the Hear 'Em Out Show, a place for men to be heard when women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the opportunity to lead to growth and elevation.
All right. Love y'all. Peace.